Hello. Welcome to our masterclass this evening. All about how to stop holding yourself back from six-figure success. I see this time and time again where people who really do want to get their businesses off the ground, but they're actually doing things that they may not realize is going to keep them from six-figure success, but it will. It will. Unless they actually pay attention. Okay, so we're going to be talking about all of this ultimately. What stops you as that spiritual entrepreneur who knows that you are connected to the divine, who knows that you are one with God? Frankly, you have the power that created the universe flowing through your veins. Why are you unable to reach the financial levels that you would like to reach in your business? That is a question that you should really wanting to know the answer to. So who is this for? It is for the person I just described, but you must be determined. You must be determined to actually figure out what is getting in your way. You're a coach, you're a healer, you're a course creator, you're a spiritual business owner of some sort, or you're transitioning from an unfulfilling career to doing something that you would like to do. So something more fulfilling, something more aligned with your purpose. Then this is the right place for you. Now you value your time and you're fed up of trying to figure stuff out alone because you've been trying to figure it out and it's not working for you. Ultimately, you're very action oriented because again, if you're trying to make six figures and you're hoping that you're just going to pray and affirm and then the doors will open, that will not work. Okay. You look successful to other people. You have, in fact, I was speaking to someone not just a few days ago whose business was not working after 10 to 15 years of work in the business. But she had, put herself in such financial stress because she wanted to look the part of success. What can I say? We do these things. So you look successful to everyone else, but actually you've trapped yourself in a life that doesn't feel that great. And I did this, I was a pharmacist myself, and I trapped myself in a life that looked good, even to someone living in my house. She thought that everything was fine. It was not. It was not fine. Okay. It was not fine at all. You're that person that gives and gives and gives and gives. And yet when you need something, you get nothing back. Everybody looks to you for answers, but you don't feel you have anyone to look to for answers. Am I speaking to you? Am I speaking? Because so many of the people I speak to, that is the thing. You're giving and you're really completely committed to giving your heart to people. But sometimes it just doesn't come back, particularly when you need it. It doesn't come back. And yet you keep doing it. You keep doing the same stuff. And that's part of the reason why you are held back from six-figure business success, because you are giving indiscriminately. Okay, but let's talk about that later. Who is this for? Let's keep talking about that. You're in pain. You're in deep inner pain. You can't even find the words to explain how you feel sometimes. You just know that the way you're living right now, it's not sustainable anymore. I remember someone saying this to me on the phone as well. The way I'm living is not sustainable anymore. But she was, most people looking at her would never have realized that she felt that way. And that can sometimes be you, where you've been living a certain way, knowing that you're called to a different path, but you keep doing the same stuff over and over again, whether you're in business, whether you're not in business. Okay. Ultimately, you're not living in your purpose and you know it. And for some of y'all, you might be living in your purpose, as in you might have built a business that is aligned with your purpose, but you're not making the money you would like to make, despite working very hard to try to. And I know that if I spoke to you, I will be able to immediately spot what is getting in your way. You may not be willing to hear it, because sometimes people get on the phone with me and the stuff that they hear is not what they're expecting to hear. And it's shocking because I'm quite blunt. But then I'm a coach. I'm not your friend. I'm your coach. I want you to prosper. I want you to succeed. So I will point out the things to you that you may not be able to see on your own. Okay? You know there's more for you, but you've done everything they said to do to get that more. So you got the education. Some of y'all keep collecting more and more certificates and more this just to prove to yourself that you're enough. You got the education, you did the good job thing, or maybe you have the business instead, because of course it's a business that's going to give you multiple streams of income, isn't it? Basically, except it's not working. And still you're not where you thought you would be by now. Then you're in the right place. You're in the right place. Let us talk. You may feel resentful about all the people around you with all their noise, their nonsense, and their drama, but you keep being the support system for everyone. You keep slapping a smile on your face and plodding your way through life no matter what happens. But deep down inside of you, you feel tired, a deep sadness, an unfulfillment. You want change, but you are also afraid of losing what you have currently. You've worked very hard to get to this place that doesn't feel great. And that is actually one of the most disappointing things, because I know for me, becoming the pharmacist and realizing, oh, I don't even want this. Because I remember sitting down, just coming out of, finished my internship, got the great job, everything, and sitting down with my husband and thinking, is this it now? Is this my life? Already. Had hardly even begun. And I was already thinking that. For some of y'all, you carried on. I did too. You know, I did the practical thing. Let's just keep doing that. Let's keep showing up at this job that we hate. But you know what? Let's just do it. Let's give it our best. Blah, 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 blah. We have responsibilities. We have bills. We have people to look after. All of that because you're afraid of losing everyone. They all look up to you in this way. and so, you know, every time you mention the things that you would rather do, people almost like try to shuffle you back into place. No. You don't need to be doing that. You should just stay here doing this thing that you hate doing. But you know, it's practical and it's responsible. And so there's a part of you worried that you're going to lose everyone if you actually go after the things that you desire. There's a part of you also that doubts your own ability to bring your vision, your desires to life, even though you are someone who has brought many other things to life. Even though you are someone who is quite resourceful and you've done things that other people would have looked at and thought, I can't do, but you've done it. But then it comes to living in your purpose. Somehow you tell yourself the story that it's impossible for you. And there's a part of you as well that probably wonders, how dare I think so much of myself, so highly of myself? Who do I think I am to think I could change the lives of that many people or make that much money doing my own thing? What makes me so different from everybody else? And so you think these thoughts, and then you think the divine thinks you're too proud, and so therefore maybe you're not going to get what you want. All of this stuff that I'm even mentioning here is not even some of the very more obvious things that keep you from six-figure business success, but these are things that keep you from six-figure business success. This way of thinking. And so because of the way you think, you feel stuck. You're going through the motions of living life, but not getting where you want to go at all. Are you done, my love? Are you done with living beneath your true potential? Are you done with settling for the scraps of life when actually, and I say the scraps of life, for you, it's the scraps. For other people looking at your life, you're doing okay, except it's not what you want. It's what you have settled for. Because you tell yourself that you have no choice. You have to keep doing the business in the way that you're doing it. You have to keep staying in the job that you don't really want to stay at because the business you're trying to build on the side is not taking. So obviously there must be something wrong with you, or there must be something wrong with maybe the divine doesn't want you to do it, or whatever the story is that you keep telling yourself that keeps you stuck. Are you done with being stuck? It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. I'm doing this series of masterclasses to wake you up to the fact that you have a calling because you are capable of bringing that calling to life. But there's certain ways of acting that does not allow your destiny to come through. And so you must question the things that you're doing. You would question it in anybody else's life. And yet, when it comes to yours, you somehow just keep taking weird steps and then wondering why it's not working for you. You're a reasonable, practical person. But when it comes to living in your vision, living in your purpose, when it comes to saying no to people that you need to say no to, you shirk, you hide, you become less than who you are. Powerful person in your job. Everybody looks at you like, oh, she knows where she's going, or he even. But then come to do your own thing, you suddenly become wimpy. It's time to wake up. I would live this life, okay? So I get it. But I too had to hear some hard truths to wake up. So I'm asking you to wake up because there's a reason you're here on this planet at this time. That vision inside of you, that message you carry, it is yours to deliver. There are people who need that work that you are here to do. It's not a mistake that you are here on this planet at this time with that message. But it will take you being mentally tough, one, emotionally resilient, tenacious, and courageous. Courageous to step up and actually start questioning some of the things that you're doing. Just because everybody around you thinks that way or does that way does not mean that you need to continue. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. I'm Rosemary Nonny Knight, by the way. I am the money minister and business coach to action-oriented spiritual entrepreneurs who are determined to hit six figures by this time next year. If that is you, then yeah, you should book yourself in for the six-figure spiritual business consultation. Let's have a conversation and see if we're fit to work together. And as I already said in this first few minutes here, I am blunt. So don't come onto the call expecting sympathy from me. If you want to hit six figures, then I will tell you the truth about what it will take. So are you committed to your vision for real? Are you truly committed to changing lives, creating wealth for you and your family through your own purpose-aligned business? Are you truly ready to start now? Or is it just something, I was speaking to someone recently, her intention was I was just curious about what you do. Wasting my time with curiosity. Are you kidding me? Basically, yes. Nonsense. Yeah. So if that's you, don't come on the phone with me, okay? Please don't come on the phone with me. I'm not here to talk to people who are not ready to move forward. Whatever story it is that you feel is holding you back, honey, others have had that same story. And those who are successful move forward, whereas those that don't have the story. Are you more committed to your story, or are you committed to your vision? You have to truly answer that question, because there will always be a story. All the choices you've made to date have created the life that you have right now, which may look successful to other people, but if it doesn't feel good to you, you need to recognize that the same power that created this existence that you are living in right now, that same energy can create a different experience of life. But the choice will always be yours. The divine will love you, whatever you choose to do. But if you're choosing to step up, to start changing lives, to start creating at least six figures, to start now to do this stuff, then it's going to take some seriously different choices. Are you ready for those different choices? Hi, Veet Skins World. Are you ready for those different choices? Yeah, Rosemary Nonny Knight, as I was saying. I used to dabble at business, so I understand what it's like to be where you're at. I used to dabble at business. I was absolutely sure that I was being serious, but I wasn't, okay? With hindsight, I can see that I was messing around, messing about. I wasn't fully committed to my journey. I was committed to being a pharmacist, even though I didn't want to be a pharmacist. It was my parents' choice for me. But I thought, you know what? I need to be practical. I need to be reasonable. I need to do something sensible. Pharmacy seems like a sensible thing. It's a good career. It's fairly flexible. It's good. Except it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. And it took some doing. Well, for me, it took bankruptcy and it took depression for me to finally realize, I'm 3 amazing daughters, for me to finally realize that unless I change things, ain't nothing gonna change. Hey, Yvette, how you doing? Unless I change things, nothing is going to change. So I had to make the decision. And it was hitting rock bottom. It was somebody having a horrible conversation with me where they wanted more money from me and I didn't have money to give them. And I felt terrible because I had this person shouting down the phone at me. And I'm just like, what? This is not who I am. This is not who I am. There has to be a different way. Anyway, 6 weeks, my last baby had been born 6 weeks before I woke up. I woke up and started making my transition, started changing things. I didn't drop pharmacy immediately. I never asked anybody to do that because that desperation doesn't sell, basically. So you don't want to be desperate whilst building your business, but you do want to make sure that you've decided that you're going to stay the course until it is a success, because it won't just happen. It won't just happen. I mean, you can listen to all these people talking about how it's also fast and also whatever. It won't just happen because you're changing. You're becoming the person that can make the six-figure success, that can change lives. And so there is a stretching. There is a pulling apart that you must be willing to go through in order to grow into the person that you, or in some ways, it's almost like you're not growing into anything because you're actually stripping off the layers that convinced you to live less than what you're capable of. I'm glad you're doing well, Yvette. Okay, so yes. Let's look at some of those reasons. Because business growth itself is supposed to be easy, it's supposed to be simple, it's supposed to be swift. I know I just said it was difficult, but yes, in order to get to that place where it is easy, simple, and swift, you, the complicated part of this equation, have to handle your stuff. You have to handle your stuff. And really listen to what I say here. When I say here, business growth is easy, simple, swift, particularly when I start talking about the third thing you need to do in order to stop self-sabotaging. I will come back to this again, I guess. But I want you to know that if not for the fact that there are human beings involved, your business would grow straightforwardly. There's simple things you need to do. And if you do them, your business will grow. Problem is your thinking. Some of the stuff that I've already mentioned, that complicates issues. Okay? That complicates issues because ultimately the only thing you need to do to consistently get clients and to build your business to 6 figures by this time next year is, one, a target audience. Who is it that you're actually helping? A package or an offer of some sort where you are actually, this is how I'm going to help you with a great price on it. I'm going to help you at this price. I can help you do this exact thing at this price. You ready? A free giveaway so that you can start building an audience. So you give them something that is an hors d'oeuvre, a starter of your main offer. Okay, so that they can come and get a taste of you, come and get a feel for you. It's like, for me, it's the 6-figure spiritual book, a business book right now. That is the taster. You read through that book. If you actually apply it, honey, if you actually apply it, I say this to people and they're like, usually it's clients after they've become clients. I'm like, you know what? Everything I'm going to start teaching you is in that book. But because that book was free, you didn't really pay attention to it. And I'm saying this out loud to you guys. I wonder if any of y'all will listen to it. Basically. So a free giveaway. So it's an hors d'oeuvre. It's a starter. It's a starter. Okay. Because the strategies, as I already said, strategies to build business, quite simple, quite straightforward. Humans, not so much. Okay. Have some kind of consultation with people so that you can speak to them, find out if they're fit with you, blah, blah, blah. This is one of the fastest ways to get people on board as clients. Okay. Is actually speak to them. It's also one of the areas where most business owners want to hide from. We just want to send a few emails, send them to a sales page. They click on the button and they buy from us. And that can't work. I'm not saying it doesn't work. It can work, but usually not to the quantities that you would like it to. And some of y'all are finding that. I'm wondering if it's something that you're doing wrong. It's because you've refused to actually connect with people. Okay? Because you're hiding. And then you just need to be communicating with people, connecting with people, capturing them into your world. So building that audience all the time. And, tell them, make quote something to someone. If you're not quoting something every freaking day to someone or someone's, are you in business? Some of y'all, I don't want to be salesy. Are you a business or not? Because if you started a business, that business is about money. Let's just be clear about this. I don't care how spiritual you are, because if you didn't want to make money, you just not bother starting a business. You just give everything away for free, which some of y'all are doing under the name of business, which is just crazy. But we do this. I say this, but I know what it's like to be there, giving away everything practically, but telling yourself, I should. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, let's keep talking here. So that's all you actually need to grow a business. That's it. That's it. However, how you start sabotaging yourself is this. One, you convince yourself that the divine called you to serve broke people. Now, 2 days ago, I think it was, and in fact, I got a phone call because of this. I did a live stream saying, God did not call you to be broke. And I talk about this a bit, but you know what? I think I need to go even more directly in here. God did not call you to serve broke people. Let's just be very clear about this. So you telling yourself that, oh no, the call I feel in my life is to the broken and the poor. I remember saying this to my husband. So I know what it's like to feel so completely sure that you are called to that. And maybe at some point you are. But when you haven't got yourself to a position of strength in your own business, ain't nobody calling you to that. God is not calling you to hassle yourself with people who do not want to elevate, or maybe they do, but they just don't have the finance for whatever reason. Bearing in mind, guys, because some of y'all listening to me, you might feel like I'm being really callous and you should not charge this for this and that is why you're broke. Okay, you are forgetting that every single person on this planet, don't care where they're born, where they are right now, is created in the image and likeness of the divine. If they do not work with you, they will not die. They will not die. You are not called to save everyone when you haven't even managed to save yourself. For some of you, this is going to be hard to hear because you are convinced that you are being nice and being super spiritual and being really good-hearted. But I'm telling you, you're being crazy. You are not called to serve broke people. You have a service that can support people who are willing to pay you for it. You need to get this straight in your head, or else you will continually sabotage yourself whilst telling yourself that the divine called you to do it. And some of y'all even get angry with the divine after you've done this for a few years and your business is still not growing and you feel like abandoned. But who abandoned you? You abandoned yourself when you decided that you were going to give everything away for free or give everything away for some silly, crazy, cheap price to people who are not even fully invested in it. It's time to wake up, man. This is not easy to hear, but are you done? See me, I'm sorry, when I think about it now, educated, pharmacist. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? I made my life hard for so many years. So I come to you from a place of having gone through the journey of struggle, self-imposed struggle for an incredibly long time. I got done with that. And you need to get done with it. But the choice is yours. You can keep telling yourself the story that God called you to them people. I'm not saying that at some point you can't do something to support them, because I know that I'm called to well, so it's not even just sometimes we use that called to thing as almost like a cop out from making our own clear decisions. But God will never, the divine is not going to force you to do anything. Okay? So your calling, it's your choice. In the end, it's your choice. Do you want to do it or not? There's no force in this. There is choice. Okay? So divine isn't forcing you to do anything to serve broke people. None of that. Nobody's forcing you to do anything. So you need to, because it's like when I say the words called to, it almost feels as if you have no choice in the matter. You always have choice. And so if you decide to put your brain on the shelf whilst you're telling yourself you're being intuitive and following the divine, whose fault is it if you choose to remain broke? Or you choose, therefore, because you can't be broke because you need to take care of your responsibilities, so you therefore stay in an unfulfilling job forever because you never allowed yourself to prosper. So that's number one thing here. That's one reason why you're sabotaging yourself. The other thing is, you do have skills, you do have wisdom, you have overcome stuff. You can coach and teach and heal people, but instead you choose that you're going to sell candles or crystals or body butters or something like that for like $5 to maybe $20, $27 or something along those lines. You decide that that's the business you're going to start in. You know that you're called as a healer. You know that you're called as a coach. You know that you're called to teach things that would transform people's lives. But instead, you're going to sell crystals for $3 each, basically. And then you're going to wonder why you're finding it so difficult to build your business. Come on. Come on. Come on, people. Start to open your eyes to what you're doing to yourself. Again, you have skills, you have wisdom, you could coach, you could teach, you could heal at a great price. But instead, you give it all away for free or really low prices. Because again, you think you're called to people who can't afford to pay those high powered coach prices. You don't want to be so greedy. And you don't want to be like those grabbing people. You don't want to be just about the money. It's about purpose. Well, purpose does not pay bills alone. Okay? Purpose plus strategy is what works. It's 3 elements to money. And I was going to mention that later, that there is the, spiritual side, the connection to the divine, the living out your purpose side. There's the mental side, what is going on in your mind. But there's also the very practical, let's do the practical stuff. And some of y'all are quite good at the practical stuff. It's just that you're doing the wrong things repeatedly. You see it's not working, but you keep doing it. You keep selling your $5 meditations. You keep selling your, $5 crystals or whatever, when you can see this isn't getting me anywhere. And you have skill. You have wisdom because you've overcome a heck of a lot. You could actually really help people. But instead, you settle for what? Why? This is self-sabotage, guys. It is self-sabotage. You may call it following your calling. It's a lie. It's a lie. Though I know you believe it is true. Well, I'm hoping to get you to question some of your beliefs. And where did they even come from? Because some of y'all are still operating based on some pastor or some spiritual teacher of some sort who was broke, telling you about how you can't use your gifting to make money. It's somehow bad. I used to belong to a church that believed that you're not allowed to use the gifting that God has placed inside of you for personal gain. If it's not for me first, who is it for? Basically. We believe these things and they sound so true. But when last did you really take time to question what you're believing? Really? So what? The divine placed a gift, talent, something inside of you for you never to benefit from it. It's only for everybody else. Because why? Why do we think this of the divine even? What kind of horrible deity would that be? I mean, really think about what you're thinking about, really. Another thing is that you're just refusing to look at your business model, which, as I've already started talking here, ultimately your business model is flawed. Have you ever asked yourself, particularly if you're one of those people who are doing the selling of little chimpery little things, little programs, little this and little that, and you're doing all of this stuff, have you ever really asked yourself, with the audience size that you currently have, how will you ever get to 6 figures? With this, because some of y'all as well, because your business is not making money, then you're not investing in advertising, so your audience isn't really growing. You're trying to do the content thing, but you're probably erratic with it because most people are really ultimately. So you're not really reaching people, and then you're getting more and more disappointed, which makes you even more erratic at what you're doing. And it's just a horrible cycle that just goes on and forever. And you kind of keep hoping that if you just keep taking the next step and you keep praying and affirming, and you will manifest the business of your dreams, that somehow a miracle will happen, you will be catapulted forward. You would never do this in a job that somebody else was paying you for. If your boss came up to you and said, you know what, we're just praying and manifest and affirming that we will manifest your salary this month. If you will just join us in praying, I'll give you a personal affirmation that you will use every night, but please make sure you come into work every day. And then when we manifest the money, we will pay you. Really? Would you work for that company? Would you? And yet you do that to yourself every freaking day. And you tell yourself the divine called you to it. It's not true. The divine did not call you to live that way. He did not. You have chosen to live that way. Fifth reason here that you sabotage yourself is that you're waiting for perfection. Well, let me tell you what I told someone yesterday. Perfection is freaking poverty. Okay? Perfection is poverty. You keep waiting to be perfect. You keep waiting to be totally healed before you can heal anybody else. You keep waiting for some vague, perfect time in the future when your life is not chaotic. Honey, if you don't make choices today to change the way your life is playing out, your life will continue in the exact same way forever. No, yes. I'm not sure what you're knowing and yes into, but yes, ultimately. Come on, it's time to wake up from these things where you are sabotaging your own awesome self. You deserve better, but will you give it to yourself? That is the question. Will you give it to yourself? Perfection is poverty. You do not need to be perfect to help someone else. One little step ahead is all that is required. That's all. That's all. And even then, you may still make mistakes, honey. Seriously. And when you think about it, when you look at the world as it is now, you have really fat doctors talking to other fat people and telling them to lose weight and teaching them how to do it. But somehow we believe those people. I still remember working with a really huge pharmacist who would be doing a weight management clinic. And in my mind, I'm thinking, why should anybody be listening to this person? But you wear a white coat, everybody believes you. Basically, even though the evidence is right in front of their eyes that you are not applying. But, and I'm not even, you know what, in some ways, I'm not even judging that. Why? Because he still had the knowledge. He may not have been able to apply it to himself yet, but he had the knowledge. Some of y'all, you're waiting to be perfect before you do anything. For the same reason, people like me saying, oh, you shouldn't do that. But the truth is, you could still help people. You can still help people with the knowledge, the wisdom you have currently. You may make mistakes yourself. You're not perfect. And any client that expects you to be perfect, maybe is not your client. Because they're expecting you to live on some kind of pedestal somewhere, which you will inevitably fall off. And that's fine because you are human. It doesn't mean you have nothing to impart to them. But you have to believe in yourself enough to just get out there and start. Okay, so those are 5 things that I wanted to kind of share with you as to the sabotaging that you do. It's time to stop the freaking madness. If you listen to some of this already and you already know that you're ready for change, we're going to talk about 3 things. Well, 3 simple little steps that you take. But I've already kind of started hinting at this stuff, but we'll talk about it anyway. But right now, if you already know that you're done with living the way you've been living, if you're already done with knowing that you've been sabotaging yourself, then let's have a conversation. Only if you're ready for change, though, because as I said, I am freaking blunt. If you come on the call and you're not ready to move forward, you will hear it and it won't be pretty. So you come onto the call because you're ready for change. You're ready because you know. Because as I've mentioned those 5 things, but each individual person, it may be the things that I've mentioned, but maybe there's something else that I haven't mentioned yet that you are doing. But you know that you've been working hard to get your business to grow and it's not growing. Are you ready for change? Are you willing to invest in yourself? Let's have a conversation. There was in the 6-figure spiritual business consultation on Instagram. You can look on the link in my bio. You can apply for the whole thing there. There's a link around the video if you're somewhere else where I could put a link basically. But let's keep talking here. The 3 things that you can do to start to get clearer on the ways you're holding yourself back and to stop doing it. 1, it is to connect to the divine, okay? Now, we're spiritual people here. I shouldn't even need to tell you this, so I'm sure that you already have some kind of way of connecting to the divine. But I need you to connect to the divine without your trained mind in place. Because sometimes, especially if you're religious or were brought up religious, even though you have left the religion is still inside of you. And so you have a certain way of perceiving what the divine is saying to you. So some of the things that I've said this evening may actually, it's like, I'm doing that. But you would never, even though you connect to the divine every freaking day, you never even think to ask, what am I doing? And even if you heard that, you would have said, no, I'm called to broke people. I'm called to help people who really need me, basically. And all of this and all the others, if you are the only savior of the world, which you're not. Okay. So connect to the divine, but with open your eyes, as in open your ears as well. Question all of your beliefs about what your connection to the divine needs to look like, and also what the divine is allowed to freaking say to you. Because if you are determined that no, he can only speak about certain things in a certain way, then no matter what he's trying to get through to you, that's probably why you're even here listening to me. It's because the divine will try all kinds of ways to get through to you, but in the end, you are the one that's going to have to say, oh, that's what I'm doing, is it? And then do something about it. Otherwise, the divine loves you, man. The divine loves you, whatever you do. Unconditional love is available to you, but if you want to be fulfilled, it will be because you chose to be fulfilled and wealthy. Okay, so anyway, connect to the divine. Okay, connect to it. If you're a deliberate millionaire, one of my clients, then we have the ritual that I teach you all, that you can use to connect in a really clear way, move you forward, and then focus on actually what you want. So how do you focus on what you want? Write down a money goal. Write down a client number goal. Write it down numerous times. Figure out what is it that I deeply desire. Write it down numerous times. Get it front of mind. Notice any kind of weird and wonderful resistance that comes up when you tell yourself, oh, I want to make 6 figures. Maybe you suddenly start to feel, but am I allowed to? Notice all of that stuff and clear it. Okay, whatever system you use to clear it. If you're a client of mine, I will teach you how to clear it. But you clear that stuff. But you remain focused. Write it down numerous times. I'm very much about the writing and the speaking and the writing and the speaking. Yes, also the feeling, but that I find comes out of me writing my goals down repeatedly. I write them down as an affirmation repeatedly every freaking day to keep my mind focused on them. And again, if you come to this work with your own mass mind programmed mind, then this is why you need a mentor, somebody outside of you, because sometimes you can't hear or see what you're doing that is keeping you from your own destiny. But let's try. Connect to the divine. You can even say, you know what, please open my eyes. I am willing to see. I am willing to see. And then write down your goals. Write them down numerous times. Speak them numerous times. This is how you focus on where it is that you want to go. So hopefully when you start doing things that are sabotaging you and keeping you off your path, you will notice, because you have to start asking yourself, is this choice I'm making here about building my business in this specific way, is it getting me to my goal? Or is it taking me further away? And let's just forget all the magic thinking, if I just pray, I'm sure you'll be fine. No. If you pray and keep heading towards Scotland, where you say that you want to go to London, you will still end up in Scotland and not London. Okay? So please stop thinking that just because you prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed, if you keep being determined to keep doing the same stuff that hasn't got you anywhere, you'll keep getting the same freaking results you don't want. So focus on what you do want. Test everything against what you actually want. Is this getting me where I want to go? Because the thing about, because as I said, it's not that I don't believe in manifesting and all the praying things in. I do. But it has to be partnered with the practical stuff. It has to be. But still, because we are divine beings, let's focus all our energy on creating what it is that we want. That's where the writing and the speaking over and over again, because the focus brings about speed of manifestation. Okay? So focus. So you connect to the divine. Together with the divine, you're focusing on the thing that you desire. And the next and final thing is that you allow it to come through. For one, you start to realize, okay, as I've already said numerous times, the divine loves you all the time. Feel loved. Because some of these sabotaging things is because you don't care enough for yourself. I used to say the 2 things people need is to fall in love with the divine and fall in love with themselves. If you would fall in love with yourself, you wouldn't keep punishing yourself in this way. I did a live stream a few days ago where I was like, why are you punishing yourself? What is it that you think you're paying for when you continually put yourself in a position where you're not allowed to make enough money to live on or to move out of the job you no longer want? Because some of y'all, it's not that you don't have money. Of course you do, because you're in a job that is paying you well, but you don't like being there. So the only way you're going to transition out is that you create a business that replaces that income. That's what I did as a pharmacist. I replaced my income and then I left pharmacy. You can do that in your business if you will allow yourself to. So first, consider, am I loving myself in this decision that I'm about to make? Are you loving yourself? And now, a part of allowing is look at the strategies. Look at the business model you are following. Is there even one, or was it just, I'll just do a bit of this and bit of this and bit of the other and bit of the other and hope that it all kind of works, basically. And the truth is, you probably heard some person that you like saying, oh, I just followed intuition and it was just like blah, 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 blah. And you believe it, except it's not working for you. So allowing is that you are also taking the action that you need to take to get the results that you want. Okay? Notice, question, these things that I'm doing, this model that I'm following, do I even have a model? Is it going to get me where I want to go? Or is it keeping me from my destiny? We are all reasonable people. And I hate the word reason in some ways because I don't want you to be common sense kind of person, because common sense doesn't get you uncommon success. But I do want you to almost treat your business like you would a job. You wouldn't settle for nonsense in a job like that. And I said, give you the example of if your boss said, let's just pray and affirm and let's see if your pay comes this week, basically, and then you get paid. You wouldn't even stay in the job. So why do that with your business? Look at your model. Look at your model. Is it capable with the number of people in your world, as in the number of people in your audience, in the audience for your business? Is it possible for you to make the money you would like to make doing what you are doing? And if it's not, change it. Change it. Figure out a different way. If you really must sell those $5, $27 stuff, you better find a way of getting on TV or something. So that you immediately expand your audience. But if you're trying to do it with little bits of content and then you're wondering why it's not working, or you're blaming Etsy, Etsy is not showing my stuff to people. Etsy is not there to build your business for you. Neither is Facebook or anywhere else. Nobody's there to build your business for you. You are the one that builds your business. So come on now. Okay, so are you allowing yourself to prosper? You have to get really objective about this, and it's really hard for most people, and most people are not capable of doing it, which is exactly why you need to work with a mentor. It is, because you can't always see what you're doing to kill yourself. Oh my God. If not for the fact of mentor, coach speaking into my life, I would still be trying to sell chimpere, little, this, that, and the other, wondering when my time was going to come. I need to affirm some more. Come on. Aren't you fed up? Somebody else with clear vision, because right now you can't see. Maybe something I've said here might prick you, but you'll probably go back into your life and think, no, I do know that the divine told me this, because I used to say that all the time. Oh no, I know the divine told me this. Listen, honey, whether you work with me, whether you work with someone else, you need to work with someone who is able to see clearly what you're doing to kill yourself. Okay? So again, I invite you to the 6-figure spiritual business consultation. If you've listened into this and you know that your business model isn't working, something inside of you is continually punishing yourself for whatever reason, if you are done with it, let's have a conversation. Okay? The link is in my bio if you're on Instagram, or the link is around the video if you are anywhere else. Let's have a conversation. During that conversation, I will look at what you're doing, look at what you're trying to do. Okay? We'll see your vision, see your purpose, or a couple bits of it at least in the time that we're together. Get crystal clear clarity on what it is that your goals are, what your income goals are, all of that stuff. So that we see where you're going. We'll look at the challenges that could be stopping you from getting there. And as I said, each person is individual. I've mentioned quite a few different things here which might have spoken to you, but there might be more that you just haven't a chance in hell of seeing on your own because you're so used to living that way. Okay? Let's see that. Let's see those. You will leave that session feeling re-energized, feeling re-inspired. unless we had to have a really hard conversation. I did have to have a hard conversation with someone today. But I still think she left feeling like I needed to hear this. But even I felt like, oh, wow, this is a hard conversation. But I'm not going to mince words with you because other people are doing that in your life already. And it's keeping you from your purpose. It's keeping you from your destiny. So if you're done with pretend help and you're actually ready for true help, and for some of you all, even the word help makes you, oh, I don't need help. I can figure it out myself. You haven't figured it out yourself. Let's just be clear. Do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? Do you want to be right or do you want to change lives? Because if you're ready to change lives and you're ready to create wealth for you and for your family, to get to that first 6 figures, because before you start talking about multiple streams of income, let's master one freaking stream of income. Okay. Okay. And when you've mastered one, you can turn it into multiple. Let's talk. So you'll leave that session knowing what to do next, and we will decide if we need to work together to bring it to life faster. Because you can leave that session feeling all, and then you go back into your regular life and keep doing the same stupid things. Basically. Or we can work together and take you to your next level. And I will help you see where you're killing yourself, where you're sabotaging yourself. You deserve wealth. You deserve the best of everything. You deserve to live fulfilled, free, financially abundant, love drenched. That's what I call the deliberate life. You deserve all of that, but you have to allow it in. I always feel that if you come into my space, whether it's on the phone with me or even just listening to me here, I know the divine sent you here. There's no mistake about us connecting in this way, but you still get free will. Will you make the next move? Or will you allow fear or pride to hold you back? Will you take the next step? As I said, on Instagram, the link is in my bio for the 6-figure spiritual business consultation. If you're on YouTube or Facebook listening to me, the link is around the video. It's rosemarynonniknight.com/accelerator. rosemarynonniknight.com/accelerator. Book yourself in. But please, I say again, only come if you're actually ready to move forward. This isn't about just coming to pick my brain. This isn't just about, oh, I just wanted to talk to you and tell you my story. I love you, honey. Everybody has a story. I particularly want to work with those who are done with the story. I don't mind hearing it. Yeah. As long as you're done with it so that we can move forward. Are you ready to move forward? Because this is it. People need help. People do need help. Yeah, they're all created in the image and likeness of the divine, but you have specific message that could help people who are willing to pay you. So it's time to get over your crazy and start getting out there and serving the people that you're actually called to serve and making money for yourself and for your family. Come on now. It's time to wake up. It is time to freaking wake up. Are you ready to? And if you are, rosemarynonniknight.com/accelerator. Schedule yourself in for a consultation with me and we will have a conversation. It's time to stop sabotaging yourself. It's time to allow yourself to get to that 6 figures so that you can get on with the rest of your life. There's so much more you want to do. You want to travel. You want to give back in all kinds of ways, whether it's build wells in whatever or help youth do this or the other. You can do these things more easily when you've allowed yourself to make some money. So come on. rosemarynonniknight.com/accelerator. Let's go. Okay, it was a pleasure speaking with you today. I'm sure I'll get to speak to you guys another time. And for some of y'all, it's time you make the decision to come work with me. Stop talking, stop thinking, planning, wishing. rosemarynonniknight.com/accelerator. Speak soon. Bye.